Coach T podcast and the NFL show is presented by Turner Sports Training, TST.
And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Go, go, go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey. You know what time it is? Yeah. You know what time it is? Some people are probably like, what time is it? You know what time it is.
It's showtime.
Yeah, I really don't feel, Kyle, that it's going to be. I mean, I think this is going to be a good year. I think we're going to end up having about 15 players. We're going to end up having a team, a solid team with some good athletes. And then I think we're going to end up crushing it next year even more. I mean, this thing is what people want and need. Like, dude, you weren't there last time, but you saw it the first time. Look how many kids are playing flag football, like, before we actually get out there. Like, because I actually had a couple kids from Hobart. Now, Hobart and Crown Point are super far away from each other, but they travel there every weekend to go do flag football. So, wow. And like these, and my with my speed and agility, it's kind of a lot like what you have with the Pop Warner program where you are. I train like, I don't know, about like 15 of those kids, maybe 20 of those kids, and then they want to do like a football like IQ thing in the spring. So like they're hungry for football. There's no doubt about that. So absolutely. And that's why I think we want to get a younger team, like a 8th grade team, 8th grade, maybe 9th grade team. I think that'd be kind of cool because you get some really good 8th graders and some, average 9th graders, have them play in like a 15U, 14U, however they break it up. And then we end up having hopefully like a varsity team next year on top of that. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, I agree. I for sure agree. I know the people, it's like the kids here, they for sure travel, at least from the Pop Warner people I'm talking to. So yeah. I like it.
All right. Let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Kyle, guess what?
Yes, sir.
We're back.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Hey, and I'm so corny, man. I pulled that same joke with my college football co-host. So now I'm reusing that, man. So, hey, if you're not reusing, you're not, I guess you ain't doing it right, man. You know what I mean? You got to reuse some things, man. Especially when you do 3 or 4 shows a week, which I'm doing nowadays with my NBA show, college football show, NFL show. And with that being said, this is the NFL show, people. People listening out there, fans out there, devoted listeners, devoted fans, all those good people, mom, dad, hello, siblings, hello, wife, hello. All those people out there that are listening. This is the Coach T NFL show with Kyle and Hicks. Unfortunately, Hicks will not be on with us today. It seems like the boy, he's got some deals he's closing, Kyle. So happy for Hicks. Best of luck. Hopefully he close that deal. Hopefully next week you tell us about, all the good news. And since it's just you and I, man, I want to ask you, so you can tell the people, Kyle, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. So first off, we are doing this recording from the good old Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, this nice vacation. I've been here for a week, enjoyed my time here, chilling in the mountains, sightseeing, things like that. But I'm glad I can sit down for a little bit, still get on here, obviously talk some ball. Gonna be heading back up to the Bend, South Bend, Indiana, tomorrow morning. So, I've been good. And then obviously with what happened, towards these last few weeks as a, Colts fan, man, I'm speechless. I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was right there.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, man, it was right in our fingertips. Obviously I've been a big Wentz, fan and everything. I think things got to change. All right. I think Carson Wentz might be on the hot seat. We'll get into this in a little bit, but I think just because here's the thing,
I don't know about that, man.
He does.
I don't know.
Listen, he does things that are great and he does them like awesome, but like, it's just 1, it's not consistent enough. And 2, like there's times that for us to be an elite team, he has to play great. And those times that we've needed him to play great, he has not played great. So just off of that, I'm not saying like, let's cut him tomorrow. Okay. I'm not saying to cut him next week, even though if we do cut him before March 31st, so we do save like 28 million in cap space. I'm not saying do that. Okay. I'm just saying, let's look at some options.
You got to look at it. It's the NFL, right? You always got to look at the options, especially at that position, which is a quarterback, the most important position. I got a proposition for you. What if you call up Chicago and maybe get a little trade for Nick Foles? That Foles magic, man.
Hey, that's man, that's tough. I don't know, man. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion. I mean, he brought him down. I think Nick Foles might be just a little bit past what we would need him to do. I think he would. I think
Chicago says no to that.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm excited. I mean, we got a lot of pieces. All right, we have a lot of good pieces. We have a really good, solid base. We have a good culture. I think we just need that one piece, man. We need to find that one piece. I don't know if Wentz is it. I hope he is.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking on that, I think that with Carson, and I was watching that game, and now you clearly have watched way more Colts football than I have this year, probably ever, matter of fact. But with that last game against Jacksonville, I mean, what did I tell you before? Like, I wasn't trying to jinx it, and I didn't want to go against you because you're my homeboy, but you kind of knew I was kind of feeling the Jags because I feel like so much pressure was on the Colts. I mean, everybody and their mama was picking the Colts last week. Everyone. No one gave the Jags a shot. Jags were at home. Jags could play spoiler, which they did. Okay. But watching that game, a lot of that, and I know people say it's easy to bag on Carson Wentz. And again, I haven't watched him the entire season, but watching that game specifically against the Jaguars, like, he didn't get any blocking. He got no protection. They were playing from behind the entire time. Like, their defense, this actually reminds me a lot of how, not the same thing because it's high school football, but a lot of how our season, Hobart, Indiana, high school, our season ended in terms of we just couldn't get stops on third down. And we ended up playing from behind basically the entire game. And when your possessions are limited, you're not getting protection up front, which is the story with Carson Wentz and the Colts in this game. It's hard to come back when you're playing from behind and you don't get protection and you just feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders because everyone and their mama is picking you to win. And you know it's win or get in. And you got to travel all the way from up north, all the way down south to play this team that has nothing, literally nothing to lose playing this game. So it was just house money for the Jags. And that's why I felt like the Jags would have a chance to cover and possibly win. But truth be told, I was rooting for the Colts to actually win the game. Like, I didn't want to be even remotely close to that prediction. I know I said a tie game, but it is what it is. We understood what I was thinking, what we all were thinking, but you called it, man. You called it straight up. You said you are scared of that game, and the Colts reared their ugly head, man. They really did. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like I said, that's life as a fan, brother.
Yes, it is. Like I said, 2014 is the last time we got dubbed there. And that streak continues. So, hats off to them. Even though, let me just say this again. Last thing, we're gonna move on from this. Just the fact that we went down and they have to win game and lose to the 2-14 Jaguars, whose fans were dressed as clowns because of how embarrassing the organization is. And we dropped that game. Like, I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. Let's go ahead and get to next year. Let's get on to the playoffs. Let's see some good teams actually play some good football.
Thank you, man. I'm glad beautiful segue, by the way, Kyle. That was wonderful. So let's talk about football, specifically playoff football, because it is here, people. Playoffs. I got to find that drop, man. I got to drop it right here. I'm going to leave a little space so I can drop it.
I love it.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
All right, speaking of the playoffs, all right, look, these are my boys right here, man. I was on the bandwagon. I fell off the bandwagon. It ran out a little bit of gas. I helped push it to the gas station. I helped pump some gas in it. And now I'm back on the bandwagon. I'm talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, who've had a tumultuous year, but lo and behold, they're in the playoffs, Kyle. And they are playing what I feel like is everyone's favorite team, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are at home in this matchup. This is a Saturday matchup. This is a 4:30 Eastern kickoff. The Bengals at home, they are 5.5-point favorites. 49 is the over-under. This is the AFC wildcard game, or one of the AFC wildcard games. We'll look at some of the trends here. The total has gone under in 4 of the last 5 matchups when these two teams play in Cincinnati. Vegas in their last 5 games, they won 4 of them. Cincinnati in their last 5 games against Las Vegas, they have covered the spread every single one of those games, as well as they've covered 5 of the last 5 games when they play the Las Vegas Raiders at home in Cincinnati. So I can go over that again if you would like me to. But, you know, it seems like Cincinnati covers against Las Vegas, and it seems like it goes under when these two teams play. However, Las Vegas, in their last 5 games, they've been hot. They won 4 of them when they needed it the most. So that tells me something about this team. And then a couple of stats. Let's do some of this. Offensively, you're looking at the 12th rated offense against the 10th rated offense. The 12th being the Raiders, 10th being the Bengals. Points per game, you're looking at the 18th ranked offense points per game, which is the Raiders, versus the 7th in the Cincinnati Bengals. They almost averaged 28 points, almost 4 touchdowns a game. They averaged a little under that, a shade under it, 27 a game. Then defensively, total yards, you're looking at number 14, which is the Raiders, a little bit better than the number 20th defense in total yards, which is the Bengals. And then points per game allowed, Raiders are 26th in the league, and they allow 26 points per game. And then for the Bengals, they are 17th in the league, so they're about average. They allow 22 points a game. So with all that being said, Kyle, you and I, let's pick the winner.
Yeah, man. I mean, this one's going to be tough. This one is going to be a great game. I mean, it's a playoffs. They're all great games. But I mean, this is 4 and 5 seed, right?
I need to check that.
This
is 4 and 5 seed. So this is in theory the closest matchup.
Yes. Yeah. That 4 and 5 game, man, those things are tough. Those things are interesting. You know, something, maybe it's obviously from what they did to us obviously a few weeks ago, but one thing, the Raiders are scary, man. I mean, they are a scary team. They are underdogs in every single game they play. They always find a way to get in there. They always make it a game. And Derek Carr, I mean, he's literally, we talked about this, I believe, halfway through the season. I've mentioned it multiple times. As much as I've been off the Raiders train, Derek Carr's had literally the best year of his entire career. Like the best year. Now, saying that, Joey Burrow, I mean, I don't know how you stop that Cincinnati offense, dude. I mean, yeah, you stop Jamar Chase, you still got Higgins and Boyd, man. I mean, you stop the pass game, they got Mixon right there behind them. I mean, that team is also super scary. I think, you know what? I'm picking the Raiders. That's what my gut said. I'm picking the Raiders. I think
playoffs,
yes, man, it's the playoffs. And I just feel like Raiders are going to want it more. They're the more veteran team. And Cincinnati, even though I feel like they're the more talented team, they're really young. They'll be back in this situation. They know they'll be back in this situation. The Raiders, they don't know if they'll be back. Honestly, I mean, be real. They're going to have a new coach that they don't even know if they'll want to continue with Derek Carr. So they know in that locker room, this is legit the last time that this team is going to be together. So I think they're gonna use that, and I got Raiders taking this dub in Cincy.
Okay. So the last time the Bengals won a playoff game, Germany wasn't even officially reunited yet. The Bengals hope for the Bengals hope for their first. Stop! Don't make me laugh. The Bengals hope for their first playoff win since 1991. You weren't even born then. You weren't even thought of, were you?
I wasn't even a thought. I don't even know my parents were. Yeah, I think they're together, but barely.
Barely, okay. And then looking at it, I heard this stat as well. The Raiders, they haven't won a playoff game since 2002, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a year they actually won it. What did they win it that year? No, they did not win it that year. They haven't won it in a while. But they had Gruden. That was the first time Gruden was with them. And that was a part of the year where they had Charles Woodson. They had, I think, Rich Gannon at quarterback. And that was the year where they had the tuck rule, if I'm not mistaken. That went against them.
I think so, yep.
Okay. So you're looking at two teams, one that hasn't won in 20 years in the Raiders and one that hasn't won in nearly 30 years or over 30 years now. And one that hasn't won since Germany was officially reunited, which is the Bengals. So this is going to be a huge win for either one of these teams that actually pull it out. You're going with the Raiders. We talked about the quarterback matchup. 23 total passing touchdowns for Derek Carr with 14 interceptions. Joe Burrow, he also has 14 interceptions. However, he has 11 more touchdowns. He has 34 passing touchdowns. Carr is at 4,800 yards passing. Joe Burrow is 200 yards underneath that. He's 4,600 yards. We can get to all the other stats. I mean, you talk about running game. Joe Mixon has over 1,200 yards. Josh Jacobs, who's kind of had a little bit of a down year, but he's been consistent. Averages 4 yards a carry. He's at about, a shade under 900 rushing yards. And then, passing wise, we know the weapons that the Bengals have. Receiving wise, for the Raiders, they have Renfro, who has over 1,000 yards. That actually surprises me there. And then they have, I think he's going to be playing in this game. They should have, who's their tight end? Darren Waller.
Yep.
So I think if you take away, if I was a blind man coming from outer space and I had no clue where the seeding falls with these two teams, and I actually saw them play a couple of games and I had to say, hey, how even are these teams? I would say they're pretty even. So I would take the points with the Raiders, 5.5. I think that's just too many. But I want to go with the Cincinnati Bengals at home, winning their first playoff game since Germany has been united and since 1991, over 30 years. I think they get it done here because, to me, they have the better quarterback. And I got love for Derek Carr. I just love his story. And I don't think a lot of people in general, let alone a starting quarterback that is already battling to kind of hold and keep his spot and keep his position on the team for the foreseeable future, let alone a quarterback that has to go through everything they've gone through this year. I mean, again, I bring it up every time I talk about the Raiders. A year to forget off the field. But on the field, I mean, they've battled. They've won some games. They lost a couple of games they shouldn't have. They had some upsets they shouldn't have. So they have rose to the occasion seemingly all year, especially last month of the year where it mattered the most. So I would take the Raiders with the points, but I just feel like at the end of the game it's going to be really close. I just envision it right now, Kyle. I see Joey B. I'm talking. I think he maybe pulls one of those Tom Brady 80-yard drives to end the game type of deal. I can see him smoking a cigar on this one post game. So I'm going with Joey B on this matchup, man. I got to.
Okay.
Next one. You like that? You like that?
I like it. That's all right.
All right. Another AFC wildcard game Saturday. We have the New England Patriots against the Buffalo Bills. This right here, you have number 3 seeded team, which is the Buffalo Bills against the New England Patriots. These teams have played twice this season. I could pull up those matchups in a little bit, but with this particular matchup, the Bills, they are 4-point favorites at home. 43.5 is the over-under. And looking at the trends here, we have New England in their last 10 games on the road against Buffalo. They have won 9 of those matchups. That's pretty darn good, 90% of them. Also, New England in their last 8 games on the road against Buffalo, they have covered the spread 7 times. Buffalo in their last 16 home games, they've won 13 of them, and they've been really good when they needed it the most. In their last 5 games, the Buffalo Bills have won 4 of them. Looking at the stats here, we have total yards. You're looking at the 15th rated offense with the Patriots, and then versus the number 7th rated offense with the Bills in total yards, and then points per game scored. Both of them are top 6 teams or offenses in the NFL, both at around 28 points a game. And then defensively, you're looking at, they're both top 3 in yards allowed per game. So pretty good there. They're 1 and 2 against the pass. The big edge here is against the run, rushing yards. The Patriots, they are 22nd overall rated. The Bills, however, they are 13th overrated. Yards per game allowed, and then scoring defense again 1 and 2. So if I'm looking at these trends, I could dive deeper. I'm really intrigued to see what are some of the over/under trends. I know when these teams have played, we all remember that classic game where Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times. They ran the ball 1,000 times, and they still won that game in Buffalo. But then So that was a close matchup, and that was, what was that? That was, geez, I don't have it in front of me. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that was a 14-10 game early December. And then late December, these two teams played again in New England, and that was a 33-21 win by the Buffalo Bills. So they had split their season series. First game was very low scoring. Second game was very high scoring. I think this game will be somewhere in between. And if I had to lean any type of way, I think it would be on the lower end in terms of scoring. Again, we talked about the stats and the team defense and points per game allowed and all that. And I just know the type of game Bill Belichick would like to play. And I think with the Bills, there's a little bit of pressures on them at home. So I think early game jitters will be in effect here. I've spoken a lot, so I'm going to give you the floor, Kyle. I want us to pick the winner for this one. I'll let you start.
Yes, sir. All good. Yeah. So this one, this is also going to be, really good game. I'm really excited to watch this one. I'm gonna go with the Patriots. All right. I am going with the Patriots to get the dub in Buffalo.
Can't be mad at that. Big Bill.
Yeah, I just think it's really, really hard to bet against Bill Belichick. I think he's proved that he can win without Brady, obviously. Mac Jones has been playing lights out all year long. And honestly, I just think the Patriots have been more of a consistent team. And I don't even mean necessarily even with the record, but just more of a consistent team of who they are. I feel like the Buffalo Bills have just lost who they are in too many games. Even some of the games they've won. They just, they've looked great at some points, looked bad at others. And really, if you think of the Buffalo Bills, like, what type of team are they? Like, you would think with them being in Buffalo and them having the cold weather and those type of, Buffalo people, they're gritty, they're hard nosed, they're, kind of like those Pittsburgh people. And yeah, man, exactly. Yeah. That's Buffalo. So why are they losing? Why are they getting the ball ran over all of them at home in the cold consistently? They can't stop the run for anything. And it's crazy that you actually say that the Patriots were ranked further than the Bills, because from at least I haven't watched much Bills football this year, but from what I've seen, I don't know. I just don't have a whole lot of trust in them. I love Josh Allen. I know they have weapons, but I don't know. Just, you're talking about Bill Belichick in the playoffs. As an underdog, come on. I'm taking Bill and I'm taking the Patriots.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Do you feel like your perception of the Bills precedes their actual gameplay this year?
I would say for the most part, I think with obviously, like you said, me being a huge Colts fan and we absolutely demolishing them like we did that game, I think that does have a play into my opinion personally. But honestly, just look at the stats. They're playing really good ball, but I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it is me just as a Colts fan, but that's how I feel.
Okay. I was trying to maybe click on a few other trends, but again, I don't want to waste too much time with that. Let me duplicate this screen so I can have it up if I need it. Go back to these matchups. All right. With this game, Vegas is good, man. They're good.
They are.
43.5 is over under. Like, that makes a lot of sense. I think it's going to be right around there. I could be totally wrong, but I think it's going to be your average NFL score, 24-20 type of game. And that's what, 4 points is a spread. So that makes a lot of sense. Again, to me, if the first game with the Raiders and Bengals, I'm going with the home team, I'm going with the favorite. This next game, and as well as I'm going with the Raiders coverage, so I think that's going to be close. And I think it's going to be a very high scoring, speaking of the previous game, the Raiders and Bengals. So to me, this would be the lower scoring game of the two. And that means points are at a premium. So again, I don't want to hedge anything, but I would take the Patriots because they could definitely win this game. They've proven it. They've already done it before. They've gone up to Buffalo and they handed a nice little smackdown to the Bills before. Again, they ran the ball like 1,000 times in that game, only threw it 3 times, and they ran it down their throat. To me, that was the type of game where Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, and that coaching staff said, we about to send a message to these boys in Buffalo if we ever have to play them in the playoffs. And now they're in a situation where they got to play them in the playoffs. So I think that message is heard loud and clear. But if I know anything about competitive football players, last time you got embarrassed, this time it's like, hey, we ain't letting that happen again. So I think the Bills are going to be ready. Again, stats show that they're pretty good against the run. I know we perceive them a certain way, but I'm just looking at the stats, right? If I'm blindfolded, my eyes are closed, all I can do is read the stats. I don't know how I can read with a blindfold, but if someone was telling me the stats, the Bills are pretty good against the run. They can't run the ball to save their lives, but against the run, they're pretty darn good. And if you're the Patriots, you then have to count on a rookie quarterback. I know he's been really good. I know he's the future, talking about Mac Jones, but if you have to count on him duking it out with Josh Allen in Buffalo, I like my chances with the veteran quarterback. So I'm going to take the Bills in this game. I'm also going to take, even though I said points are at a premium, and I'm going to take the Bills to cover because I really feel good about it. I feel like this is their time, and guess what? That window is closing. Okay, so the Bills this is their opportunity. You can't say, well, we'll be back next year. Football is a violent sport. You don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so you got to make the most of your time when you actually have it. Bills flamed out last year in a surprising year for a lot of people. This is their time to do it, and especially being at home. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Bills here. I'm going to go with the Bills to cover, and I'm a believer in Josh Allen. I think he duels. He's going to touch the ball every play, and I think he's going to run the ball about 10 to 15 times. I think he's going to have a rushing touchdown. I think he's going to throw the ball 35 plus times. I think he's going to have 2 passing touchdowns. And I just think they're going to put the game in his hands. And if they win, lose, or draw, it's going to be because of Josh Allen. So I'm riding that train with him. So I'm taking the Bills. All right, next one. What do we have here? We have this is Sunday. All right. We have the Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers at home, they are 8.5-point favorites. 46 is the over-under. This is the NFC wildcard game. So you have number 2 Tampa Bay versus number 7 Eagles. This is where I wish Hicks was here so he could talk about his boys. The Eagles in the last, the Eagles in the last 5 games, they've won 4 of them. Tampa Bay in their last 11 games at home, they've won 10 of them. Tampa Bay overall in their last 8 games, they won 7 of them. And the total has gone over in 4 of Philadelphia's last 5 games. I think this will be surprisingly a good game, but I'm going to hold on the reason why when I got to go. I'm going to tell you guys why. But first, I'm going to let you go, Kyle. Shoot. All right. Pick the winner.
Hey. So, what if I told you? On the real, man, I think this will be a good game as well. So, we obviously all know of the surprising retirement of AB, because I'm going to call it a retirement because there's not going to be one team in the league that's going to hire that man again. All right.
You see what he said? Sorry, I hate to cut you off. He was like, "Hey, that may have been unprofessional. That may have been a bad idea." You think? Really? You think, AB? You think?
Oh my word! It's so funny, dude. If he wasn't so freaking good at football, he wouldn't have had to have most of the chances he had. He had chance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, so maybe it happens down the long. Who knows? But he's a grown man. Obviously, we're obviously for the beating the stigma of mental health and things like that. And I really hope he does realistically, get help and fix things that are just going on with his life. Saying that,
he need a good smack upside the head. That's what he needs.
Yeah, really. Hey, but saying that, like, realistically, man, I mean, no AB, no Chris Godwin. I think Leonard Fournette was a little banged up. It'd be tough, man. I mean, and the Eagles are flying. They are running the ball. I mean, they are a scary offense. I remember halfway through the year, their offensive playbook was Jalen Hurts run to the sideline and chuck the ball. I mean, that's truly what it was. Ever since then, they have completely come around. Do the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Super Bowl champs, get knocked out first round by the Philadelphia Eagles? No, I don't think so. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay Bucks. They still got Gronk. As long as they have Brady and Gronk, if those two together are playing together, I'm picking the Bucks.
Yeah, as long as they got Brady, man.
Yeah, I mean,
look, as long as they have Brady, I don't care who they have a receiver. Because again, if they're going against the Packers, which they may down the road, like, okay, then you can sell me on the fact that, hey, the other guy on the other side, he's a bad boy too now. Okay?
Yeah.
But and I got love for Jalen Hurts. I think he's a really good player. I think he solidified the fact that he's a starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me tell you that. Okay. But again, similar to the Mac Jones versus Josh Allen situation. Like, it's going to take a lot if we got to talk about dueling it out between these two quarterbacks. It's going to take a lot. I will say these some really good stats, and this kind of drives your point home. Offensively, I mean, these teams are completely opposite. Passing wise, the Eagles, they're bottom of the league. They're 25th, right, in the league. The Bucs, they're number 1 passing per game. On the flip side of that, rushing yards, the Buccaneers, they're 26th rated. They cannot run the ball to save their lives. And the Eagles, they're number 1 in rushing. Okay. So you got one team that loves to pound the ball and they can't throw. Another team that can throw the ball, but they can't pound the ball. So, and that's that defensive stats. I don't really want to read that too much. I mean, they're kind of close. They're really good against the run, both of them. Eagles are much better against the pass. They both give up about the same amount of yards. And they, points wise, Tampa Bay gives up 2 less points than the Eagles. And that actually gets them 13 more spots higher, points per game allowed. So you guys can take the stats as you want. The one stat I do know is that one of these quarterbacks has 7 Super Bowl titles, and one has 0. Goose egg. And he hasn't been in the league long, so I'm not going to hold that against him. But I'm not going against the GOAT, especially not in the first round. Like, this reminds me, if this is LeBron James, I don't care what happens. I know last year what happened, but just in general, I'm not going against these guys, especially not in the first round. No way, no how. I'm not doing it. So if I lose, I'm gonna lose with a smile on my face, knowing, hey, I picked the GOAT. He ain't get it done. Hey, it is what it is, man. But I ain't gonna try to be the smart guy that goes and picks the Eagles, and then the Eagles get blitzed by 40, which I think has a better chance of happening, Kyle. Like, that's why I say this game will be interesting. I think people are doubting the Buccaneers. They don't have the weapons, yada, yada. I think they win. I think it's a 2-score game, majority of the game. Now, does it end that way? The Eagles, make a little late backdoor run? Maybe. But I think the Buccaneers are going to be up a lot of points in this game, because I just feel like a lot of people are kind of doubting them, not really feeling like they can get back to the Super Bowl. I still got confidence they can. So I'm going with the Buccaneers. I'm going with the Buccaneers to cover, and there's no way I'm not going with my boy Benjamin Buttons in this matchup. So give me Tom Brady, give me the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, that's all Tom Brady needs is more motivation.
Right. More money, more motivation, and more money. That's all that man needs, I guess. Jeez. NFC, the second wild card game, we have the San Francisco 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys. This is a 3 versus 6 matchup, with the Cowboys being the third seeded team in the NFC. Third seeded team in the NFC, if I can spit it out. That obviously makes the 49ers the 6th seeded team. I cannot get that out, and I'm not going to edit it. So what? It is what it is, man. You guys know what it is. Cowboys, they are 3.5 point favorites here at home. 51 is the over/under. Nice little game at Jerry's World. And this is one of those classic matchups. You know what I mean? This is actually, I'm old enough to remember when Deion Sanders played for both of these teams. I remember him in his 49ers jersey with the little bandana hanging out, the 21 with all the wristbands and the nice little swag, the swag rag and all that. And I remember when he came over to the boys, America's team. So that's what this game reminds me of. Between this matchup, if we're talking about trends, the total has gone over in 7 of the last 8 games these two teams have played in Dallas. San Fran in the last 5 games, coming off a crazy comeback win against the Rams last week. Rams were up 17 points, and the 49ers fought back. You see how resilient they are. In the last 5 games, they've covered the spread 4 times. And Dallas, in their last 7 games, when they play San Fran, they are 6-1 straight up. All right, so talking about teams and team defense, team offense, both top 10 teams in terms of total yards. San Fran's 8, Dallas is number 1. Rushing, they're both top 10. Passing wise, San Fran, they're 12th in the league passing. Dallas are number 2. In points per game, Dallas is the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL at 31 points a game. San Fran, they are 13th at 25 points per game. Defensively, kind of the complete opposite. San Fran, they're the 5th rated team against total yards allowed. Dallas, they're 21st. Passing wise, San Fran's number 6. Rushing yards allowed, San Fran's number 7. Points allowed, San Fran's number 9. So they're top 10 in everything on defense. And for Dallas, the only thing they're top 10 in on defense is points per game, which is probably the most important. They are actually 7th, which is actually 2 spots higher than the 49ers. You're not going to remember all that information, but I feel like I got to give it out. All that said, Kyle, let's pick the winner.
Yeah, so this one, I don't even think Jimmy G is playing, right? Is he still trying? I mean, I heard he
played last week. He played last week. Yeah, he played. He got that thumb, but he battled through.
Yeah, I'm still going Dallas. I mean, I just think overall they're the better team. It's in Jerry World. No, you know what? But they do to seem always kind of to ruin it. I mean, they always
pressure's
have that
on.
roster. Is this the year that they're finally going to get back? I think they win this. Yeah, I think they win this game. I really think the spread is probably only at 3.5 because of the great comeback that the 49ers had last week. But saying that, I just don't think they get it done. I think Dallas is going to pull away in this. They're easily going to cover 3.5, probably 7, and who knows? I even might put a little minus 22. Minus 22 spread there just to kind of see what those odds are, because I think that's just a good possibility too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's smart thinking. Jay-Z had an old song, man. It went by old school. You get Reasonable Doubt, first album type of deal. Bring it on if you think you can hang, and if not, then let me do my thing.
Oh, come on now, you are.
I feel barring them down. Look, I feel like the Cowboys. Bring it on, or 49ers if you think you can hang. And if not, then let them Cowboys do their thing. I think the Cowboys. Now it's tough because this is a team that they are Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I mean, they are the epitome of that, right? Let me look at the Cowboys. Actually, their last few games. Okay, last month of the season. Smacked up on the Eagles, 51-26. But before that, at home, lost to the Cardinals, who were struggling. Okay, week before that, they smacked up on the football team. Week before that, they smacked up on the Giants. Week before that, they just beat the football team. Week before that, they just beat the Saints. So that's 4 straight wins right there. Raiders, who's another playoff team, they lost. Chiefs, who's another playoff team, the week before that, they lost. Falcons, they beat up on them 43-3. Broncos, that's one of those games where we were all surprised they lost that game. Going all the way back to October, Vikings were out of the playoffs. They beat them. Patriots, we all remember that game. That was a really good game. They beat them in Foxborough. Giants, they smacked up on them. And the Panthers, they smacked up on them. So, all right, so let me go back. I guess I didn't want to go back this far, but we're going to take it. Chargers were out of the playoffs. 2, they won. Eagles were in the playoffs. They beat Buccaneers, first game of the year, who are in the playoffs. They lost. So, listen, when they are looking good, and it's even crazy just to look back at these scores. I mean, I can see why the number one scoring team. They've had games of 29 points, 41 points, 44 points, 35 points, 43 points, 33 points, 56 points, 51 points. But again, a lot of those teams they were playing, now they're NFL teams, but they beat up on a lot of teams that are not in the playoffs. They are 1, 2, 3 Cancun, a lot of those teams. They off on vacation already. Then they beat a couple teams that are, like Patriots and the Eagles. Like, they beat some teams that are in the playoffs that look pretty good. But then a couple of those teams that are actually in the playoffs, like the Raiders, like the Buccaneers, like the Chiefs, they lost to. So again, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you don't know what you're going to get from this team. And all the pressure is on the Cowboys. You cannot tell. Look, if the 49ers lose this game, people going to say, well, Jimmy G had a hurt finger. They backed into the playoffs. They barely made it. It came all the way down to week 18 before they actually made the playoffs. Cowboys, they've been in the playoffs for like 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. Like, it's been locked in, bro. So all the pressure's on the Cowboys. I never liked that. That doesn't make me sit well, doesn't make me sleep well at night, knowing that, hey, if I pick a team, all the pressure's on them. Like, I even feel the pressure myself. But I'm going to rock with you, Kyle. Like, I feel like in Jerry's world, Dak actually has a really good game. I feel like the players going to be juiced up. I could just see the scene right now, man. I know the Cowboys do a really good job. They got like the smoke before the game. I can see the players running out, swag rags rolling, man. They high stepping, they feeling good. And if some good happens early in the game, a pick six, which could happen with Diggs, a fumble recovery, a big sack, and that thing gonna be live, bro. So I'm rolling with the Cowboys, and especially the last time they were at home, they got embarrassed. They lost to the Cardinals, in a matchup a lot of people felt like they should have won. And they almost had a chance at the end to actually win that game. So I like them at home against the 49ers. And we have both picked chalk. We've all gone with what Vegas feels like is a favorite. I guess I don't know if that's good or not, but I just got much more confidence knowing that the Dallas Cowboys, when they're right, and they're good, and they're almost unbeatable when they're playing at their top level. So I'm hoping that I actually get an A+ game out of those fellas, and I'm going with the Cowboys, man, America's team. See if they can prove me right. I know that Hicks is going with the 49ers. Let me call that right now, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, hey, you know what's crazy too is watch, this is going to be the game too that they 49ers somehow pull out, because I saw a stat that if you bet $100 on every single underdog this year, you would be up $2,000 right now on every single, you know what I'm saying?
To win.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just how it's been going. But yeah, let's see if them boys got it.
Yeah, man. This is the biggest toss-up to me. It shouldn't be that way. I feel like the Buccaneers are going to win that for sure. I feel like, the Bills and the Patriots, the Raiders, Bengals, they're all toss-ups. That's why it's playoffs. But I just don't. This is the one where if on Monday people are saying, how did the Cowboys blow it? I could see that, man. I can see that. Like, I don't think the Bengals really can't blow it. The Raiders can't blow it. The Bills, they really can't blow it. They're going against Bill Belichick. That's going to be a little excuse. Like, the Buccaneers can blow it, but I don't think that happens at all. So the Cowboys are the team where I'm lasered in. I'm looking at the screen right now. I'm like, the Cowboys could blow this game and have everybody talking about why do we still call them America's team. I can see that.
It happens every year, and we're both sitting here picking the Cowboys.
Yep. Oh, man, they got a spell on us.
Yes,
they got a spell on us, man. All right, 2 more games, brother. So the third AFC wildcard game here, this is the nightcap for Sunday. We have the Chiefs or the Steelers against the Chiefs. Chiefs are the number 2 seeded team. The Steelers, they are number 17. They got in a miraculous way. Thanks to your boys. Sorry about that. The Chiefs here at home, they are 12.5-point favorites. 45.5 is the over-under. Some trends here. The total has gone under in 4 of Pittsburgh's last 5 games when they play on the road in Kansas City. So 4 of the last 5 have gone under when these 2 teams play in Kansas City. However, the total has gone over in 4 of Pittsburgh's last 5 road games overall, and the total has gone over in the last 5 Chiefs games at home. No, I'm sorry, the last 5 Chiefs games overall have gone over, and Chiefs in their last 5 home games, they've won all 5. So the Chiefs are red hot. They really shut me up this year. I'll be honest. Super Bowl hangover, not with this team, not with Patrick Mahomes. With all that being said, let's pick the winner.
Yeah, this one's easy. I'm going Chiefs. I think this could be Big Ben's last game. Hall of Fame career. We can even put a little clap sound. Congrats to you, Big Ben. We do appreciate everything you've done for this game.
Yes.
Everything you've done for the city of Pittsburgh. Everything you've done for, just the game of football in general. I really do put my hat off to you. And I'm saying this as if it's a funeral, but I think that's what it's going to be. Chiefs by probably 25.
Yeah, I want you to look up the odds on that one. You talked about the Cowboys big, potentially by 3 scores plus. Look at the same thing for the Chiefs. I'm not going to talk too long here, just for the stats, just for house cleaning. Okay. Offensively, you got number 3, the Chiefs versus number 25 total yards. Passing yards, number 4 versus number 15, favor the Chiefs. Rushing yards, 16 versus number 29, favor the Chiefs again. Points per game, number 4 versus number 21, favor the Chiefs again. Defensively, total yards allowed, they're about the same, 26 versus 27. Got the hiccups, man. Sorry. Passing wise, yards allowed passing. The Steelers are number 9 versus the Chiefs, who are number 27. And then rushing yards per game, the Steelers are the worst. But the Chiefs are not that much better. They're 21st. And then points per game allowed, you got number 8 versus number 20, favor the Chiefs. So, yeah, defensively, Steelers are not that good, especially against a run game. And let me look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs rushing attack, they're right dead smack in the middle. They're number 16. So I think the Chiefs can have some balance. Okay, so they can run the ball against the Steelers. Every team in the league has done it thus far. So I don't think that's going to change when the Chiefs play at home. So the Chiefs know they can run the ball. So if they can run the ball, that means that also opens up their pass game, which they're number 4. We know the guy at the helm, Patrick Mahomes, super cannon, super arm, Mr. State Farm. He's going to do his thing in the passing game, especially when the run game is going to be able to be there. He can lean back on that. I just feel like these two teams do not match up well, man. This is probably the worst matchup they could find for the Steelers because, what was it? It was 2 games ago in Big Ben's last home game against the Browns. I think he threw the ball 44 times for less than 150 yards.
Hey, check down city, baby. Check down.
Bro, that's like, listen, I can't even do the quick math on that. It's like it's like 4 yards a pass, right?
If he got 100, yeah, it's probably about.
It's about like a rushing average, right? A good rushing average is like 4 yards a run. Like they may as well run the ball if he's going to throw the ball 3 yards, 4 yards down the field. But I digress. Terrible matchup for the Steelers. Yes, this will be Big Ben's last official game, and these players aren't the same, but Big Ben, he can kind of pass the torch to Patrick Mahomes. Actually, Patrick Mahomes is snatching that thing, man. So I think this is it for Big Ben. Congrats to you. I will add that clapping effect. I think that's noteworthy and that's suitable for a quarterback like him. But Big Ben, thank you for everything. And I just feel like the Chiefs have no way they're going to lose this game. And I feel good saying that. So Chiefs big.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last matchup we have Monday night. This is gonna be a really good game. A rematch. This is a third. This is the trilogy in this series. We have the Arizona Cardinals on the road against the LA Rams. This seeding here, what do we have? We have number 4. Number 4 versus number 5. Number 4 being the Rams. These two teams split their season series with both of them winning on the other team's home field. So that's important here. This game will be held in Los Angeles. The Rams, they are 4-point favorites here. 49.5 is the over-under. This is an 8:15 p.m. Eastern kickoff. And this game will be on ESPN. Yep, Monday night. Perfect. All right, so some trends here. In their last 8 road games, the Arizona Cardinals, they are 8-1 against the spread. Also, they are 8-1 straight up in their last 9 road games. So they're pretty good in the second half of the season in the road games. And then the LA Rams here in their last 10 games against Arizona. I am very surprised by this. The last 10 games against Arizona overall, Kyle, the Rams have won 9 of them.
Really?
Yes. And the Rams in their last 6 games overall, they've won 5 of them. The only game they lost was the game where they gave up a 17-point lead last week against the 49ers. So one of the hotter teams you can find, the LA Rams. They're only 4-point favorites here at home, but it's a playoffs. It makes sense against Kyler. I mean, he's a threat at any time. Statistically, you have both top 10 teams yards per game, both top 10 teams in the pass. The Cardinals, they are much better in the run. They're number 10 versus the number 25th rated run team in the the Rams. In points per game, they're number 7 versus number 11. Number 7 being the LA Rams. So defensively now, yards allowed. You have number 10 versus number 17. Number 10 being the Cardinals. Favor them. Passing wise, Cardinals are number 7th. The Rams are 22nd rated. Rushing yards allowed. Now it flips. The Cardinals are 20th in the league. Rushing yards per game allowed. The Rams are 6th. Aaron Donald has a lot to do with that, I'm sure. And then points per game allowed. The Cardinals, they are top 10. They're number 9 in points per game allowed. LA Rams are about, middle of the pack. They're 15th overall in the league in points per game allowed. So I can sum that up again if you would like, but that's only if you like. Let's pick the winner.
Yeah, man. So I feel like all season long, I have been saying the Cardinals are going to make a deep playoff run. They ended this last 6-7 games, man. I don't know what happened, but they were just just
What happened?
boo boo, man. I mean, yes, man, it just was not good for them. Saying that, I still think they're really. I obviously losing D Hop, that had a huge thing to go with it, I believe. I gotta go with the Rams. I just have to. And now saying that, it's playoff football, so obviously it's not gonna
All favorites, huh?
No one, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one's going to like actually, how did you say it earlier? Like ruin the game, or kind of ruin their chances. But I think the Rams are just gonna be a little bit too overpowered. I think Matt Stafford is finally gonna get a playoff win. That he hasn't had many of those at all. And yeah, I just think they might be a little too overpowered for the Cardinals, especially with how it ended last time. And I'm going to take the Rams.
This is tough, bro, because I'm looking at this, Kyle. If I take the Rams and you're taking the Rams, that is literally every favorite and every home team.
Is it really?
Every favorite, every home team. So I kind of want to change one of these picks just to do it.
I took the Patriots and the Raiders.
Ooh, you took the Patriots and the Raiders. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better. All right, you're much better than me. Much more riskier than me. Okay. I'm going to go Cardinals here. Okay. I'm going to go Cardinals to not only cover, but to win. Okay, these two teams, they split. They split their season series, and both of them won on the other team's field. So the Cardinals have done it before. Right. Now, stats wise, it doesn't help. Trends wise, it doesn't help. I mean, the last 10 games, the Rams have won 9 of them. But trends, records, rules, they're made to be broken. So I'm going with the Cardinals here because I feel like Kyler Murray, and I need Kyler to do this. Like, he's going to have not a breakout game, but he's going to have I think he has a game to remember in this one. I mean, I'll talk about like a legacy type of game. Like, okay, Kyler kind of, he stamped it for sure. Like, okay, he's here to stay. And with the Rams, I know they didn't have much to play for last week, I don't think. But given that 17-point lead at home, to me, that would actually give them more fire. You know, I always say if you play kind of bad one week, I feel like you play better the next week. But to me, that leaves a very sour taste. And the Cardinals, they had a nice little win 2 weeks ago against the Cowboys. Okay, in Dallas. And now, they got to obviously play at LA where they feel confidence because they won them before. So I'm not too confident in the Cardinals, to be honest, if I had to put my actual money up. But I do feel like they can win this game. This is the closest matchup, 4 versus 5. These two teams, this is a third installment of the trilogy. So I'm taking the points, and I'm going with the team that started the year very, very, very in fuego, very hot. And I feel like, hey, they have the player that can actually do it. He's a game breaker. I love Matt Stafford, and I loved him on the Lions. But you see what can happen, man. I mean, he's never won a playoff game before. Okay? Never, ever. So I'm banking on the fact that maybe that continues for Matt Stafford and the Rams. So give me Kyler, give me Cliff Kingsbury, give me James Conner. I think JJ Watt's out of this game, or maybe his brother's out. No, Watt's coming back. He's coming off IR. So give me JJ Watt. Give me Chandler Jones. Give me who else we got?
Baker.
Who's that receiver?
CJ
Christian Kirk. Give me AJ Green. Give me all them cats, man. Give me all. Give me, and also, I know a stat for this team. The Cardinals this year, they play much better on the road than they do at home. They have a much better road record than they do home record. So I don't know what that's all about, but they seemingly like to play better outside of Arizona. So you're going Rams. I'm going Cardinals, and let's actually do a recap of all the teams we're doing. So first game, you're taking the Raiders. I'm taking the Bengals. Second game, you're taking the Patriots. I'm taking the Bills. Third game, we're both taking the Buccaneers. Fourth game, we're both taking the Cowboys. That's the one that's going to be tricky, let me tell you. Third or fifth game, whatever the next game, we're both taking the Chiefs against the Steelers. And then we're split on this last one, this Monday night matchup. I'm taking the Cardinals. You're taking the Rams. That sound right?
That sounds right to me.
All right, man. So, hey, may the best man win. Hopefully Hicks, he can actually break the tie, man, with some of these games. I know he's going to take the Eagles. I know he's going to take the 49ers against the Cowboys. I know he's going to take the Chiefs. Cards, Rams, we'll see what he takes. Patriots, Bills, that's going to be tough to see what he takes. And I feel like he's going to take the Bengals. That's just a guess for me.
Yeah.
So anything you want to add, man? Anything extra you want to say?
Yeah, I got a question for you. I think we should ask this question at the end of every show until it comes to the time.
Okay.
Who's in the Super Bowl? Who you got? Let's see. We got the playoff picture. Who is getting not even in? Who is winning the Super Bowl?
Right. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you who's gonna get in, and we put it out last week. Tennessee Titans will play in the Super Bowl. They will represent the AFC. And in the NFC, I gotta go with the Packers.
All right,
it's hard for me to go against Tom Brady, but I feel like the Packers just got a good thing going, man. Now they're both number 1 seeds, so I'm going with chalk, but I like that matchup a lot. Only one I'm really worried about are the Tennessee Titans. If I had to, weigh the options between those two, I'm a lot more worried actually with the Tennessee Titans than I am the Packers. But I feel like they will meet up, they will match, and hopefully that'll lead me to at least being half right with my preseason picks. Because my Seahawks ain't do a darn thing, I'll tell you that. And with that being said, it's hard for me to go against Aaron Rodgers there. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Tennessee Titans, especially if they can get big back, Derrick Henry, back into the fold. What about you? What you got?
Hey, so if I can remember right now, we're talking 18, 19 weeks ago. I'm going to have to go back and listen, but I think my Super Bowl preseason prediction's still alive, and I'm going to keep it the same. NFC, Green Bay Packers, and then the AFC, that will be the New England Patriots will be in the Super Bowl again. I'm calling it right now. He's gonna be back.
Mac Jones. Mac Jones.
Hey, you already know Tom Brady got his last year. Hey, Bill's like, hey, it's my turn. All right, point. So Patriots gonna be back, man. That's Patriots Packers. That's gonna be my prediction.
Patriots Pack. That got a nice little ring to it, man.
Yes, dude.
Hey, well, I'm rooting for it, man. I know you're a big Go Pack Go fan, and seeing Bill Belichick back there, man. When, a lot of people say it was Tom Brady that did all the work, but don't get it twisted, man. Big Bill had a lot to do with it, man. So, all right, cool, man. I definitely like that, Kyle. We'll definitely continue that week to week. See who we all pick. We definitely have to ask Hicks, who's I know he's going with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Let's see who he has. See who he has him going against. He's the only co-host that actually has his team playing when it matters the most.
He is. So, he is. Hey, he
lo and behold,
he fans up.
Gosh, man, I maybe need to switch to being an Eagles fan.
I don't know.
For real. All right. I will say this. I want to mention this. Kyle and I, we run a 7-on-7 travel football program, and any interested families, athletes, high school players, if you're good, you all state, all league type, come holler at us, man. We got a good little team going. We actually have our first official practice. We had 2 tryouts the last couple of weekends. Now we have our first official 7-on-7 practice this Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central. That would be at the Sparta Dome. So definitely go and check that out. If you have any other questions, reach out to one of us, man. We'll get those questions answered. With that being said, Kyle, do you have anything else you want to add when you're talking to the people?
Yeah, just appreciate you guys listening again. We are in playoff football. It's the best time of the year.
Playoffs.
Hey, playoffs. Come on now. But I appreciate you guys listening, and just go ahead and tune back in next week, and we're going to see how these predictions look, and let's see if our Super Bowl picks do change.
All right. Any updates with the old lady?
Hey, yeah, she's doing well. We got a little bit better medicine to help with the nausea and stuff. It was really kicking her butt for a few weeks there, but she's doing well right now. And we're, we have our second appointment here coming up, and so all things are good right now in the household over here.
Yeah, you about to see how strong women are, man. You about to see it. You about to see it for real. Like, wow, man, my baby girl, she's strong, man. You about to see it. Watch. You got any names yet for the baby?
No names yet. We have a little bit list, but nothing to
keep that under wraps. Keep that under wraps. Man.
Yeah. Right now, it is just being called Baby X. So X. Doesn't mean it's going to start with an X, but that's just That's
Right.
the name currently.
Right.
So I'll update you guys, as time goes.
We love it, man. We're going to love to see the story as it unfolds, brother. So, hey, be safe heading back. And thank you for doing this, as always. And when you said that 18 and 19 weeks ago we made those picks, it's kind of crazy, bro. Like, how long we've been doing this.
Really is. It's been a
It
fun
is cool, man. I'm glad we actually, went through with it and actually are doing it, man. So, hey, Hicks, if you're listening, which I know you will, we miss you, brother. Can't wait to have you next week. Can't wait to see what picks you have for this weekend. So, hey, let's all enjoy it. Fans enjoy it. Kyle enjoy it. I definitely will enjoy these games. So, fans, continue to show love, continue to support, and we'll keep bringing you that funk. Peace.